Hi, fourth graders. Today we are going to be doing a lesson in Module 3, and we are going to be practicing with factor rainbows. And today we just need one page, so you can add one page onto your table of contents. Remember, you can pause anytime, and when you're ready, let's flip to that note page, and we'll get started on today's notes. You'll see that our objective says, I can find factor pairs of a given number. And so the first thing we need to do is talk about our vocabulary. A factor is a number that can multiply, a number that can multiply into a product. Remember, a product is the answer to a multiplication sentence. For example, 3 and 2 are factors of 6. And so, friends, it's important for us to understand and to know factors of a certain number. That way I can think about numbers to multiply together to equal. And so we're going to start, and we're going to look at this example of 12. Okay? And you're going to see I have these boxes here for us and some number sentences over here. And so we're going to think first through our number sentences. And so if I were to find two numbers that multiply together to equal 12, I'm going to start with 1 times 12. And I know that equals 12. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to put 1 at this end and 12 over here. Because that's the smallest, the least number, and the greatest number that can multiply together to equal 12. Now I'm going to think next. Well, I know that 2 times 6 also equals 12. And so I'm going to come next to it and say 2 times 6 equals 12. There's one more factor that I can multiply together to equal 12. And when I look here, I know it has to be in between 2 and 6. And I know that 3 times 4 equals 12. And that completes my section here. Now here's why we call them factor rainbows, fourth graders. Because for us to help look at this picture, I know I do 1 times 12. 2 goes with 6, and 3 times 4, and that's how I get my factor rainbow. So we're going to practice again. And now I'm going to start with the number 24. And so I have it already here that I'm going to do 1 times something. Well, I know that 1 times itself equals 24. So in my rainbow, I'm going to put 1 and 24. Next, I know that 2 times something, and that's 12, equals 24. 2 times 12 go together. Then 3 times, if you said 8, you're right, that equals 24. And there's one more factor, and that's 4 times 6 equals 24. I put that in my factor rainbow. So fourth graders, it's important for us to notice that my smallest and my greatest go together. The rest of the facts have to be in between that. So that's how I get 2 to 12. And then when I'm thinking again in the middle, well, 3 and 8. And then I know there's one more fact that has to be in between, and it's 4 and 6. There's my factor rainbow. You'll notice that 24 has more factors than 12. There are more numbers I can multiply together, and that my factor rainbow is larger. Now I want to show you if we were to look at this number 5. Because sometimes I come across a number, and I know that I can always use 1 times the number. 1 times 5 equals 5. That will be a factor for every number you come across, fourth graders. But then I'm going to start thinking to myself, well, I have to be in between 1 and 5. Can I multiply 2 by something to equal 5? No. Can I multiply 3? No. What about 4? No. So my only factor pair for the number 5 is 1 times 5. So sometimes you're going to come across a number that only has one factor pair. Let's look at one more, and this is our last example. So remember, a factor pair is all the numbers you can multiply together to get that target number, and this one is 36. Now I already have 1 and 36. So now I need to think, what's my next one? can I multiply 2 times something to equal 36? I sure can. I can take 2 times 18 to equal 36. Now, friends, if I'm not sure, I can always come over to the side and say, okay, well, let me check 18 times 2 to make sure that equals 36. Well, 2 times 8 is 16. I write my 6 and I regroup that 1. 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1 is 3. It does indeed equal 36. So it's important for us not to guess, but we can always check our work by multiplying those together to be sure. That means 3 times 12 is a factor. 4 times 9 is a factor. And look at this one, friends. I have 1 left in the middle. I want you to make a prediction. Why is there only 1 6? What would I multiply together? Oh, you're right, friends. Notice how my rainbow sticks right on that number, because 6 times 6 equals 36. So sometimes you might get a number where it's the same factor, and you only need to write that 1 time in your rainbow. So today you're going to practice making all kinds of factor rainbows to get those facts practiced. Good luck today.